Hello, welcome to AE 3530, System Dynamics and Vibrations. This is Professor Keegan Moore speaking, and in this video we are going to go through the syllabus for this class. First, I am an associate professor here in aerospace engineering at Georgia Tech. I'm relatively new here. I just started in August of last year, and before this I was an assistant professor at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln for 6 years. This will be the first time that I'm teaching this class and the first time I'm teaching at Georgia Tech, and I'm very excited to work with you throughout this semester. I'm looking forward to an exciting and rewarding spring semester. My office is located in 421 Montgomery Knight, and that's where we'll be having all office hours, or if you ever need to meet with me outside of those, that's where we would meet, either that or through Teams. I include my email here, but the best way to contact me is through Teams. We'll be using Teams for discussions in your assigned groups for the semester, as well as for coordinating and discussing homeworks or assignments, etc., using Microsoft Teams. So the best way to contact me is through Microsoft Teams, either through posting a question or comment in the channel for your group, or by directly messaging me. My office hours are going to be 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. on Tuesdays and 2:30 to 3:30 p.m. on Fridays, again located in Montgomery Knight 421A. The teaching assistant is going to be UN Sun. I've listed their email here, and office hours will be determined, hopefully trying to get something on a Monday and a Thursday to try to spread things out, one in the evening, one in the morning, again to try and spread these things out. The lectures are going to be from 2 to 3:15 p.m. Monday and Wednesday in Weber's Space Science Technology 3, Lecture Room 2. Just to be specific, this is Lecture Hall 2. The required textbooks for this class, we're going to actually have 2 textbooks that are required. The Ogata book, System Dynamics, this one is what I believe is the officially required book, but you'll also be required to use the Meyerowitz Fundamentals of Vibration textbook. I've placed both of these books as PDFs on Canvas. Let me write that down here. So you can see Canvas for the PDFs, so you don't need to buy the books, particularly not the Meyerowitz book, since I'm not sure it's even stocked by the bookstore. I include here the catalog description for the class, as well as the learning objectives. The learning objectives are what you will be able to do by the end of this class. If you want to be successful in this class, by the end of it, you should be able to do all 7 of these objectives. For course grade, we're going to use the standard scale, with an A being greater than a 90%, a B between 89 and 80%, a C between 79 and 70%, and a D between 69 and 60%, and anything lower than a 59% will be an F. I'm going to round up the final grades to the nearest whole number. That's going to be a seal function, meaning that if you get anything greater than a whole number, you'll be rounded up to the next highest whole number. So an 89.1 becomes a 90%, which then becomes an A. The grade breakdown is going to be consisting of homework, classwork, midterm 1, midterm 2, and a final exam. I think this is relatively self-explanatory. We'll talk about each of these individually and what I expect from them. I strongly suggest that you attend class. This is the best way to learn in this class. One of the best ways to learn is to come to every class, particularly because we will have in-class assignments that you'll be required to complete. And if you don't attend class, you won't get credit for those assignments. Okay, we'll talk about teams and cooperative learning. So this course is going to emphasize cooperative learning. That means working together in your team to learn and grow together. So we're going to use teams as a way to also develop communication skills and other soft skills. Teams are going to be 3 to 4 people. We almost have enough students to have a whole number of teams of 4. There may be 1 or 2 teams of 3, but generally we're going to look for teams of 4 people. There are some rules regarding the teams. The first is that we're going to use a research-based tool called CATME. You should have received an email to complete a survey on CATME's website. Please complete that if you have not. That survey will close on January 10th, and then I will form teams once it's closed. CATME is an evidence-based tool that takes into account your availability based on the schedule you provide, how busy you are. whether you're working another job or working off campus, on campus, your leadership preferences, and all of this other information, and then uses this to build optimal teams, such that teams that will work the best together. Each team is going to get their own channel in Microsoft Teams to discuss the course, to work on coordination, scheduling things, getting together, etc. And it's an excellent way to reach out to either me or the TA. This is a great place to put these conversations, because then you'll be able to have a history of the questions that you've asked and the answers that we've provided, and everyone in the team will be able to access those. We'll also have just a general questions channel on the teams. So if you have a question that you think could benefit the entire class, please post it there rather than just in your specific team channel. And sometimes, students, you might have a question that you think is not relevant to everyone else. And then we and the instructors decide that it is relevant to everyone else. And so we will post that or ask you to post it in the general questions channel. Okay, so if you decide that you are unhappy with your team, you're able to quit after a discussion and petition with me. And if you do quit, you will either have to link up with another team or work on your own. Additionally, if a group decides that a team member is not pulling their weight, they have the ability to fire them after a discussion and petition with me. And if that person is fired, then they'll need to go and find another group and join another team, or they'll have to just complete the work alone. And your teams will be evaluated at the end of the work. And so we don't want to see anybody not participating or working in a team. You will get penalized for that. If teams are working well together, and generally I've found that with using CAPME to form teams, the teams tend to work very well together. In this case, we'll be looking to add a bonus % to your classwork grade for the teams that are the most effective, and could provide evidence for that effectiveness. And I'll talk about a bit of ways how you can show that effectiveness. Okay, so first we're going to talk about homework. Homework is going to be distributed through Canvas and will be due on specific dates. It will change depending on the homework, depending on how much time I believe you need to solve it, as well as really how much time I think you need to solve it is really what it is, and where we are in terms of the class, as well as when the exams are scheduled. So we won't have any content on exams that you haven't completed a homework for. Okay, so each team is going to submit a single copy of the homework as a PDF uploaded to Canvas. The way the due dates are going to work for homework is that it will be due at a particular date at 11:59 p.m. and you'll have a 24-hour window to submit that. And then after that 24-hour window, it will be closed. You will not be able to submit anything after that window. And if you don't submit anything, your team doesn't submit anything, that's going to result in a 0 for everyone. So, for example, if the homework is due on a Wednesday at 11:59 p.m., you have until Thursday at 11:59 p.m. to submit that assignment. And since there will be 3 or 4 of you on a team, that should be a large enough window for you to submit the homework, while accounting for things like technical difficulties, your scanner breaks, or whatever you want to think about. So don't wait until the very last minute of that 24-hour window, because it is a hard deadline and we will not accept any late homework after that. And then the solution to the homework, we plan to post 8 a.m. after that hard deadline. So using the example of due on Wednesday and then closing on Thursday, you would expect to see the solution at 8 a.m. on Fridays. For each assignment, I want you to include a cover page that includes a paragraph summarizing the contribution of each team member, as well as the approach used to complete the assignment, whether you divided the problems up and then each solved them individually, or you attempted the problems beforehand and then met as a team to complete it, or you just solved them all as a team together. Whatever you use, I want that described in this paragraph. And this is one of the ways we're going to be able to evaluate your effectiveness as a team over the course of the semester, and the way you'll be able to reference and look at and evaluate your own team members. I will say that the best way to learn this class is for each person to attempt each problem before meeting as a team and then working on them together to solve them. That is absolutely the best way to learn in this class, and you'll be the most productive and have the most success by using that approach. You should always complete a symbolic solution and then substitute in numerical values at the end. And we want to see all of your details. We don't want to just see a solution or the answer. We want to see all of the work and the details and a full analysis of what you're doing, including schematics. We'll post the solutions on Canvas. Just like I mentioned, they'll be unlocked. Typically, our goal is to unlock them at 8 a.m. Before 8 a.m. after that hard deadline, like I mentioned. We may not be able to meet this all the time, but that's our goal, and the instructors are going to push to achieve that. Okay, so we're going to do example problems in class. Some of these I will solve, some of them you will work and solve on your own. These will either be done in teams, your homework teams, your assigned teams, or they could potentially be done in ad hoc teams such as the people you're sitting around. And if you happen to be sitting with your team, then in that case, you just do it with them as well. We encourage you to work hard and engage in intense discussions on these problems. You may not be able to complete them all. And if you aren't able to complete it and we've run out of class time, then I'll be posting solutions online for you. So you will always have access to the solutions. The goal is really to get you to work and participate and try these problems in a safe environment where you're not going to be penalized for not getting it correct. But however, if you don't attend class, you won't get credit for this. The way this is going to work is that after the class, I'm going to say I want you to upload a PDF scan of what you worked on for the day. You'll just upload that to Canvas, and we'll take a brief look at what you did and verify that you worked and attempted the problem and you actually engaged in the classwork. And then we'll give you credit for that. If you did not engage in it, or you haven't really engaged or tried the problem and it's submitting something that is really lacking in effort, then you wouldn't really necessarily get as much credit for that. If you don't attend class, then you're not going to get credit at all because you won't really have anything to submit. So that being said, if you are going to miss class, please reach out and inform me before it happens. And if an emergency happens, we can always discuss afterwards, of course. But there needs to be a discussion. If you just don't come to class and don't discuss it with me, then you're not going to get any credit for these assignments. Okay, so for exams, we've gone ahead and scheduled the 2 midterms as well as the final exams scheduled by the registrar. The midterm is first midterm will be 2 to 3:15 p.m. during class on Wednesday, February 19th. The second midterm will be on April 2nd, Wednesday during class. And then the final exam is going to be 2:40 to 5:30 p.m. on Friday, April 25th, 2025. For each exam, you will be allowed to use 1 sheet of 8.5/11 of paper worth of notes plus any sheets from previous exams. So this means that for midterm 1, you're allowed to have just 1 page front and back. For midterm 2, you can have a new page front and back plus the page from midterm 1. And then final, you have a 3rd new page plus the 2 pages from midterm 1 and 2. Calculators will be allowed, but no other notes, books, papers, computers, etc. will be allowed during the exam other than your 1 to 3 pages of notes, let's say. And during the exams, you're going to take out your smartphone or your cell phone, and you're going to put it in front of you face down, and you're not going to access it at all. If you access it during the exam, that will result in a 0 for that exam and could potentially result in an F for the class. And we will take academic dishonesty and misconduct extremely seriously in this class. That being said, we expect you to do the work. We expect you not to use things like Chegg. That is a violation of the copyright and rights of this class. And if we discover that people are using Chegg, we will severely punish those who do. That being said, we will be very open to answering questions and helping people with assignments. You should never feel the need to go through Chegg. You should always be willing and eager to come ask us questions. We are very eager and willing to help you with that. There should be no need to use Chegg or any kind of solution or AI or anything like that for this class. Always come to the instructors, and we're happy to help teach and expand on topics and provide extra information to help you solve the problems and understand what's going on. Okay, so if a question about the grading or scoring of an exam comes up, or any assignment in the class, you should come to us and ask about it with a note describing the discrepancy and provide that to us within 1 week of the return of that exam. This can also be done for homework if you have questions about it. For homework, you can send us a message on Teams or in your team channel, let's say, and then we can just address it there. For exams, you're going to want to turn that into the instructor, and then we'll have a conversation about it and deal with that. After 1 week of returning the exam or a graded assignment, the scores will not be changed. So you have 1 week to come through and do that. I list here the academic honesty policy provided by Georgia Tech. You should definitely read this, as well as the classroom conduct expectations. ADA and accommodation. If you have any special accommodation needs, please reach out to me as soon as you can. Absolutely will accommodate any special need and we'll make things work for those who need accommodation. Absolutely. I list here another reference for you to consider going through. There are many books on system dynamics, and there are many books on vibrations. If you are interested in this stuff and you want more material, more books, please reach out to me. I'm happy to provide additional ones for either system dynamics or vibrations. Okay, let's just briefly now talk about just the outline for the class. The first thing that I really want to touch on is the fact that we will not have class the first week. We will not have in-person class because I'm going to be traveling. I will have pre-recorded lectures posted on Canvas for you to watch for each day. These are going to be hosted on YouTube as part of a playlist. I'm going to be recording lectures during class as well, and I'll be posting those to the YouTube channel as well, or the YouTube playlist. They may not come immediately after class, but they might come at the end of the week, but they will be uploaded for your use. But the reason for waiting is so that you can have enough time to submit your in-class work. And generally we would give you about, to be determined, probably give you until midnight of that day to submit that, and then we'd be waiting to upload the videos to the YouTube playlist until after people have submitted their classwork. Okay, so the class is going to be broken down into 2 major sections. The first is that of vibrations, and that's going to take the first 7 weeks. The second half of the class is going to be focused on system dynamics in general. And my background and expertise in terms of research really sits in the vibrations and not somewhat in the system dynamics. Part of that stuff I do, but primarily in vibrations. But I'm, again, very excited. First time I'm teaching this class. I'm very excited to teach this. I'm very excited to work with you through the semester, and I look forward to a very strong and productive spring semester. Thank you very much, and I look forward to meeting you during the second week.